Hello and welcome to Reading Rhythms with TaKaDiMi. So today we're going to be defining rhythms as repeated patterns of sound. So this is super essential to music. As we know, most popular songs have beats underneath. We know that rap and trap have really intricate beats underneath. So we want to be able to dictate these with syllables. Like we see here, TaKaDiMi. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But let's start with the basics, okay? We're focusing on 3/4, 4/4, and 2/4 time today. So here we have in 4/4 timing, a whole note, 4 beats, half note, 2 beats, quarter, 1 beat, eighth note, half a beat, 16th note, quarter of a beat. Can you tell me which rhythm lasts 2 beats? Great job. If you answered that correctly, that would be a half note. And what rhythm lasts half a beat? Great job. That was an eighth note. You're correct. Let's move along. So, as we already said, rhythms are combinations of patterns. So, let's see these rhythms in context in a measure. So, our whole note takes up the whole measure. It's going to be 4 beats, half note, 2 beats, so that's 1, 2, and then 3, 4 here. And then if we're moving on to the quarter note measure, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, as we have written below. And for eighth notes, underneath we have 1 plus 2 plus. What does that mean? The way we say this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first beat is 1, of course. So just like we have the quarter notes, the big beats are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. But since we're splitting it up, the second eighth note is going to be and. So 1 and 2 and. And then for 16th notes, that's going to be 1 e and a, 2 e and a, 3 e and a, 4 e and a. So we can see that here. There's going to be 16 in a measure, so we have 4 groups of 4. So 1 e and a is 4. So let's hear this in context, starting with the quarter note measure. I'm going to play a metronome here. All right, 3, 4. Count along. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 e and a, 2 e and a, 3 e and a, 4 e and a. Great job. And throughout, I'm just going to ask you to join along in with me when you're comfortable, okay? And I'm going to give you time to do that along as with yourself as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 works well, but I find that when we get to 1 e and a, it gets a little clunky, and there are better ways that we can use syllables to describe our 16th notes. Let's try a new system. So, as I said in the beginning, we're going to be counting rhythm with TaKaDiMi. What is TaKaDiMi? I assume you're asking. TaKaDiMi is a rhythm counting system with syllables, as I said before. So our big beats, so 1, 2, 3, 4, are going to be ta. So if you did quarter notes, that'd be ta, 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 ta. But when we split them up, we're going to end up with more syllables, of course. So if we see, we have TaKaDiMi. So if you say TaKaDiMi, that's 4 16th notes. But if we have a ta and a di, so if we cut out the ka and the mi here, that would be 2 eighth notes. So ta-di is eighth notes. So if we read up here with our rhythms, I'm going to turn on the metronome and we're going to try it out. And feel free to just read along underneath, okay? 3, 4. Ta, ta, ta-di, ta-di, ta, ta-di, ta, ta-di. Great. How did that go? All right. I'm going to give you 2 measures to try this out on your own. Here we go. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. How did that go? I hope it went well. So remember that our 16th note pattern is TaKaDiMi, and all of our rhythms come from that basic structure. Alrighty. So let's test it out. We know the basics. Let's get to going. I'm going to speak this out first, and then I'm going to give you time to repeat, okay? Let's start. Here's our 60 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, dee, ta, ta, dee, ta, dee, dee, ta, dee, ta, dee, 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 ta, ta, dee, ta, dee, ta. Great, how'd that go? I'm going to give you some time to try that on your own, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Great. I hope that went well. You should be done by now. So, drum roll, please. Forgive the pun. What about triplets? So, triplets are beats with a division of 3. So here we have quarter note triplets. That means there's going to be three notes in a beat. So we dictate these with TaKaDiMi. Say that with me. TaKaDiMi. TaKaDiMi. So if we were going to syllabize this measure here, that would be, here we go, 3, 4, TaKaDiMi, TaKaDiMi. And fun fact, when we're using 6/8, there are 6 eighth notes in a measure. So we're going to be using TaKaDiMi, TaKaDiMi to syllabize those because ta-dee doesn't work. That would be 3/4 instead of 6/8. So if we want to do 6/8, it's going to be TaKaDiMi, TaKaDiMi. That's just a fun fact for you. We're not going to be using 6/8 today. Common 16th note rhythms that we see in band. Yes, band, we're so excited. So here are 5 typical rhythms that we see on the day-to-day. So these are different 16th note rhythms, as I said before. And remember that our 16th notes are used with the syllables TaKaDiMi. So each of these rhythms are going to be used by taking out or replacing some of these syllables. So here we see TaDiMi. Which one are we missing here? TaDiMi. That sounds like we're missing ka. That's correct, because the ta is going to be taking up 2 16th notes, so there's going to be no space for us to say ka, because we don't need to, so we're just going to be saying TaDiMi. Try that with me, okay? TaDiMi. I'm going to show you a measure of TaDiMi now. Ready? 3, 4. TaDiMi, 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 TaDiMi. Great. Now let's move on. So the next one we see would just be a flip-flop version of that. So if we have TaKaDi, which syllable is missing? Correct. The missing syllable is going to be mi. That's because we're only going to be saying TaKaDi, because the D here lasts for 2 16th notes, so we don't need the mi here. So that's going to sound like this. TaKaDi. Ready? 3, 4. TaKaDi, 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 TaKaDi. Great. So the next one is Ta-mi. How many of these syllables are missing? 2 of them are going to be missing, and those are going to be ka and di, because we're only going to be using the 2 outside 16th notes in our 16th note thing here. But the thing is that this ta is going to last how many 16th notes if we're missing 2? It's going to last 3 of the 4 16th notes. So that's just going to be ta-mi. Ready? Here's how it sounds in context. Ta-mi, 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 ta-mi. Great job. Next one is taka. And just like the last time we did this, it's just going to be a mirror image of what we did last time. So that means we're going to be missing 2 syllables again. And that means that we're only going to be using taka. The first 2, because it's going to be flip-flopped. So it's going to be taka, and the ka is going to last 3/16 notes. So here's what it sounds like. 3, 4. Taka, 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 taka. Great. And this last one is my favorite. How many here are we missing? We're missing one, and it's in the middle. So this is different than the others. So we're going to be missing the D syllable here. And it's going to sound like TaKaDiMi. TaKaDiMi. Ready? Here we go. 3, 4. TaKaDiMi, 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 TaKaDiMi. Great job. Let's continue, guys. All right, let's test this out. We're going to be using 2/4 time here, or in the second, we're going to be using cut time. Super cool. We know how to use that. All right, let's get a 2/4 beat in here. Does anyone know what 2/4 means? It means we're going to have 2 quarter notes as our beat. So ta, 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 like 1, 2, right? All right, let's work on the first example. I'm going to say it first, and then I'm going to give you time to respond, okay? Here we go. Ta, ta, ta-dee, ta, TaKaDiMi, ta, ta-dee-mi, ta, ta-dee, dee, ta, dee, taki-da, ta, ta. And if you noticed, there are ahs in parentheses here. So to make our audience know that we're using a half note, which is 2 beats, we're just going to push that ah on the second beat. So ta, right? All right, let's continue. So here we're in cut time. So there's going to be 4 quarter notes, but we separate that into 2 half notes. So it's going to be still ta, ta. It's going to sound pretty much the same as we did before. Ready? Here we go. Ta, ta, ta-dee, ta, TaKaDiMi, ta, ta-dee-mi, ta, ta-dee, dee, ta, dee, taki-da, ta, ta. Great job. All right, I'm going to give you a second to try it on your own, okay? Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great job, guys. Again, if you're having any trouble, feel free to rewind and retry. Let's go to the next slide. So why does this all matter? Why am I making this video for you? This is because we need TaKaDiMi and very specific rhythms to be able to count out these complex rhythms in the band music that we play on the day-to-day. And this also works for solo music. Any rhythms that you're counting, you can use TaKaDiMi. So our festival piece for this concert is a perfect example of this. About 2 minutes in, we see a very important rhythm in the melody of the piece. All right, so I'm going to play that for you nice and loud, and we'll do that right now. So let's play the piece, okay? We're going to be starting at about 2 minutes in, and this is around measure 52, okay? Great. That's what that sounded like. So let's see what that rhythm was. Here it is, guys. We can use our TaKaDiMi symbols to figure out this rhythm. And I didn't write it in here just so we can figure it out, all right? So if we look at this in one beat at a time, we've already seen our eighth notes, so that's ta-di. And then if we remember back to our 16th note patterns, we have a ta-di-mi here, ta-di-mi. That's 1/8 note and 2/16. And then we go again, we have a TaKaDi, right? 2/16 and 1/8. And then we go back to 2/8 notes. We've already learned this, so this is what it sounds like, okay? Let's get our 60 BPM going on here. All right, 3, 2, 3, 4. Ta-di, ta-di-mi, TaKaDi, ta-di. Ta-di, ta-di-mi, TaKaDi, ta-di. Ready? Join in with me. 2, 3, 4. Ta-di, ta-di-mi, TaKaDi, ta-di. Ta-di, ta-di-mi, TaKaDi, ta-di. However, that was much faster when we heard it in the recording, right? So we can gradually speed this up with our metronome, but we know the basic structure, so it's going to be easy and we'll have no worries. The thing is, this rhythm comes in the woodwind section. We first see it with our clarinets. So that's what this looks like. Da 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 da. And sometimes there's a quarter note here, but that's a simple switch, and we can do that whenever we need to. So it's ta-di, ta-di-mi, TaKaDi, ta-di. Ready? Ta-di, ta-di-mi, TaKaDi, ta-di. Ta-di, ta-di-mi, TaKaDi, ta-di. So we have a grouping of 4 16th notes in the middle here, as we can see. All right, more examples. There are so many more examples in this piece, and feel free to try it on your own. We know how all of these go. We've seen these rhythms. See, we have a ta, ta, mi, ta, di, right? Ta, ta, mi, ta, di. Great, we already know that. So these rhythms show up everywhere in our pieces, and I challenge you to find them and figure out the rhythm, all right? And use your syllables with that. If you have any questions, clarifications, you can email me or just go back in the video and you can figure it out, all right? Feel free to email and contact me. Bye.